Hello everyone, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. I want to bring y'all a video today about a product that we have here in the Deep South that we've used, and you've heard me mention it on some of my other videos. It's called the Southern Yellow Pine Fat Lightered. And if you look over my shoulder here and get one to the pan, this is some of the we call them lightered knots, and some of them called rose cones, and just pieces of lighter. There's some stumps down there. And then we have some up here between this tree right here. We bring this up here because that's our real straight grain pieces, the easier ones to bust. And then right here in front of me is an actual stump. Let me see if I can get around on this side of it. It's an actual stump from one of these pine trees. And on the end of this tree here, we've counted, there's approximately, from the center of this tree out to the edge here, there's approximately 150 years just from here to here. Now this is not the size of the whole tree. This is just the heart of the tree. The tree was probably 3 to 4 feet in diameter. So most of the yellow pine lightered wood that we have down south here was probably trees that was standing when America was discovered. Now the southern yellow pine lightered wood trees have ceased to exist down here because these trees, a lot of them could be anywhere from 200 to 1,000 years old. And due to logging and stumping and stuff like that, these things have been cleaned up. Now, the piece of property that I purchased here was a homestead piece of property several years ago. The family that I bought it from, it was into their family for over 100 years. This land that I'm on had not been farmed or messed with since the Indians were on this property. Back, I'm going to say probably 200 years ago. That's why we do find arrowheads and stuff like that. And this lightered wood that's here, this land was like a virgin land for us because no one had come in here and done anything. After Hurricane Camille come through, it blew all the giant timber in here down, and the landowners came in and cut what they could salvage out of it and just let the rest of it lay here. And that's why we have so much lightered here, is because it's never been picked over like most of the other land down south here has. Now what I want to do today is I want to take just a moment to show you that not all fat pine lightered is created equal. What we have here, I'll take this piece right here for instance. Now this is a piece of yellow pine lightered wood. Just the width of this here, we've counted, there's 66 years just in this little 3-inch piece right here. So this part of the wood here is 66 years old, and you can just imagine this is just a piece of the tree. The tree was probably 3 feet in diameter, and this is 3 inches. It was 66 years old. So the way you tell if you have good lightered, a lot of it has to do with the way it was busted, because our forefathers here used this for fence posts because it will not rot. It'll last for thousands of years. You can take an axe and hit on it, and it'll usually split really, really well. You can lay this stuff down. The real good stuff will make long splits. That's why it made such good fence posts. And what we do to put it in our baskets to start fires with, we take and split it up into small, long strips like this. And then when we get ready to build a fire, we just simply take these pieces like this and we can bust them. And if you stick a match to that right there, it's instant fire. It's like it's been soaked in gasoline. It will literally flame up instantaneously. And you can see we put it in a basket down here. This is what we take in the house to start our fires with. Now to show you some of the differences, let me see if I can find a piece over here. This here is lightered wood. But this lightered right here, you see how it comes all to pieces. I want you to look at the grains. You see the grains in this? here we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This piece is only 6 years old. The fat content in this piece of wood is nowhere equivalent to the fat content in this piece of wood down here that I just had. Now, will this burn? Yes, this will still burn in a fire. And it will still burn extremely hot. But you cannot take this piece of wood right here and bust it down into tiny small pieces. When you break it, it breaks off clean and straight like that. You can hold a match there and it may start and it may not start. But now using the real fat wood, if you get that going and lay this on top of it, you can still have an extremely hot fire, because that's usually what we do. We do a kind of a half and half assortment of it. We take this kind of wood and we mix it in with this kind of wood so that we're going to get our fire started. We can throw the not so good lighter on top of the good lighter so that we can get our fire heated up really, really quick. And when you put it in the house, I can tell you, if any of you has ever bought the floor cleaning pine liquid stuff that you put on your floors, this makes the whole inside of your house smell like fresh pine. And I mean, it is strong. But now, a couple little tidbits about this is, if you bust too much of this ahead of time and you let it sit out, the gases will evaporate from it. And it'll still burn, and it'll still start a fire, but you lose a lot of your fire starting ability out of it. So you don't want to ever, if you bust any of this up, you don't want to ever go over this much at a time. Now this here will probably last us probably a month in the house. But now if you sit this out in the sun, the time the sun heats this up right here, the tar is going to start draining out of it, and it'll start running out of it just like pouring oil out of a bottle. And it'll make one big sticky mess, and then you lose the fire starting ability of your wood. So that's just a few little things I thought I'd bring to you about the lightered in the deep south here. Okay everyone, we're back inside after splitting up some of the lightered wood outside. What we want to do is kind of give you a little view of what it's like to start fire with this lighter wood we have down here in the south here. It doesn't take very much of it. We take the little pieces, I mean, they only just little tiny, small pieces. We just lay them inside our wood heater like this right here. You don't need a lot of it, because this stuff will creosote your pipe up if you put too much of it up in there. And two, it'll burn too hot too quick. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw a few pieces of it right here and show you how we build a fire with it, and really the simplicity of it. That right there, just that little bit right there is way more than enough to start a fire with. Now what we do, we just go around in the yard and we just pick up sticks. Literally, we can just lay sticks in here. I can come in here and just lay these sticks up on top of that like that. We don't have to have a lot of big old wood to get this thing up and get it started. Just that fast. You can see how quickly that lights up. You just put your wood in there on top of it. It's one of the, we call it one of the blessings of living down south. You can see right there right quick how fast that fire lit with that wood. That's how full of fuel that fire is, that lighted wood. Before it starts smoking out in the house, I'm going to have to close it up and let it get the draft going.
I'm showing the little pieces.
Alright, now that we've got our draft going, you can see just how quickly it starts burning in a heater and just how quick the wood starts burning. So if you like what you've seen today, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.